Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series.
I'm a ghost.
Whee! There we go, fix that. We are good. You are a ghost. Why are you a ghost?
So lights are turned up very high.
And also it's fallen over and is currently directly in your face.
That would explain that.
That would explain quite a lot there. There we
go.
That's more normal. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there we go. Me peeking. Fix that. There we go. I don't know why that's been happening more recently. Just for some reason my microphone is just getting louder and louder. But we fixed it. It's only peaking a little now, but that explains the complaints I had last week. So, yesterday. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello. I've realized my E has turned just into a regular-ass grey color, but it's not transparent.
That happened the other day when I was wearing my yellow hoodie.
That's super weird. Also, as much as I love Ice Crown, there it is.
How dare.
I know. Also this cable. We're so unprofessional. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another Nexus Gaming Series round. We have a Heroic Division game. And we have some top teams ready for you. I am, of course, Tetcher. This is, of course, Jinxeekatt. And our teams for today are going to be the Rank 2 and Rank 4 teams with Anti-Clown Association versus Press Forward, sorry. And while we talk about the teams and get some stats up for you, here are the maps to show you how we got here to this point.
Yes, I have a couple of facts about these teams. Just looking at the seeding, like you said, Tetcher, Press Forward is second in Heroic Division. They have 23 points right now, 7 whole dominations, which is really insane. The only people ahead of them as far as dominations are We Take These, which of course is the #1 team right now. They have won 16 games and have only dropped 3 maps in total. Meanwhile, Anti-Clown Association is #4, which is nothing to sneeze at. They have 19 points, 6 dominations, the second highest, or third highest, excuse me, and they've only dropped 6 maps. I can speak words. So, yeah, both teams doing really, really amazing jobs so far in the series, putting in a lot of work. Overall, just, doing a great job. The highest of the high-tier teams tonight.
Absolutely, and we are in a situation right now where we can see a lot of these teams, we already mentioned, are some of the best, to the point where this is a match that could realistically be a playoff finals match at this point, due to how high rank these teams are. And a special point on that is how this, like we said, could be a finals match. So they're starting off with where series usually end. We're heading to Towers of Doom as the first map in this series. We lost Braxis, Alterac. We got rid of Sky and Volskaya along the way.
Everybody bans away Sky Temple. I feel like maybe we should just take it out. Like, nobody actually likes to play Sky Temple.
What do you replace it with, though?
Garden of Terror.
Honestly, not the worst idea. I could see it, because let's go through the options here. So, Garden of Terror, Hanamura, Haunted Mines, Blackheart's Bay, and the Nuke map.
Oh.
That no one remembers the name of.
Okay, so I'm going to go through exactly how this should play. Nobody likes Warhead Junction. We had a 4-minute game on it in HGC, so, you know.
Yep. Everyone wants it over with as soon as possible, absolutely.
Yeah. Garden of Terror, I wouldn't hate. Hanamura Temple, I wouldn't hate. I really like Hanamura. I think it's fun. I think the way you have to strategize on Hanamura is interesting. And I think the objective gives a lot of room for teams to come up with creative ways to play around it. Haunted Mines, we're not going to see Haunted Mines until we see another resurgence of HGC, like just putting that blankly. What's the other one? Blackheart's Bay.
Yep. Dude, Wobides, thank you very much.
Wobides, hello, friend. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much for stopping by, indeed. And also, I realized the teams are the wrong way around. Also, press right.
So, what was I saying? Yes, Blackheart's Bay. That is the other one that we could swap it with. And nobody likes Blackheart's Bay anyway. I always forget that Blackheart's Bay is a map that exists unless I'm trying to learn a new hero in Quick Match. And then I get Blackheart's Bay and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, thank you. My favorite.
Yeah, oh. I mean, I kind of feel that way sometimes about, Tomb of the Spider Queen 2. The other day, I got Tomb of the Spider Queen 2 maps in a row, and I was like, How dare you? Like, I don't deserve this. I'm a nice person. Did we ban out spiders? I know you went over it, but I didn't look.
Spider Queen is still in.
Spider Queen is still in. Okay.
Yeah, let's jump back to there while the team's setting up. We're waiting for someone to get back in. So they had to do a restart. I'm also going to remind them to swap the first pick.
Okay, so yeah, I'll look at the maps right now. Alterac is banned away. That's fair enough. That really long objective and those sustained fights can be very difficult to play around, especially since the meta has kind of evolved, in my opinion, to be more burst comp, pick heroes kind of ways of play. Rax's Holdat banned out. Of course, that still leaves a sour taste in people's mouths despite the recent changes. Recent changes, they were like a year ago, but, you know, the most recent map changes.
Yeah.
So, of course, we definitely understand getting that out there. Sky Temple, like we said, nobody likes Sky Temple. And then, of course, Volskaya Foundry being banned out.
You just dipped into your your British voice for a second there. Of course.
I was hoping that we could just continue through and no one would notice the funky way that I said that. Volskaya Foundry, in my humble opinion, I think it's a fun map. It's not one I like to go to every single series that I play personally. I know a lot of teams really like it. There are a lot of nifty things you can do with the items, and you know me, I'm a big fan of macro. I'm always the one to point out when teams are taking camps. I think that really shows how high tier a level of play is, depending on how many camps they take throughout a game. And I think Volskaya really shows that off.
Sorry for the fluctuating volume, everybody. I'm attempting to adjust it because for some reason Windows has messed with it. So I'm attempting to adjust it to the point where we're not peaking into the mic. But for some reason Windows has decided what used to be like 90% audio is now 20% audio. So I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. And I'm attempting to fix it on the fly.
It's probably me bumping it like when I eat pizza at the desk.
Yeah, but it shouldn't affect the dial. The dial's in the same place it always is. It's just gone weird for some reason.
No, I don't know. I always try to like put the dial back like in the best place, but you know, I'm always just like if you've ever seen like a D&D stream from either Tetcher or myself, I'm always just like cramming food in front of my face on stream. Like it's borderline a mukbang stream.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have our players back into the lobby, and hopefully we'll be ready to go. And the Nerdcasters still are.
My phone keeps turning off, so I can't watch the chat.
We
Nobody said anything. That's okay.
Alrighty. We're getting ready to load into game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. They're just gone. We are in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the draft for game number 1. It is going to be Anti-Clan Association on the left. Press forward on the right. 2 of the top teams in Heroic Division. Some of the best that North America has to offer. And it is Anti-Clan Association who starts off with the first ban.
What can we hope to see banned away here? There's always what we love to talk about. Zeratul banned away is an excellent first ban at the top tiers of play. He is so disruptive, especially when you look at tanks that are really popular right now. ETC being the most notable, who can slide in and mosh a really good Void Prison. And speaking of ETC, we can maybe look to see him banned away here. Johanna, Zool, all excellent choices for the teams to get rid of.
Absolutely. Plenty of choices for him here, with the potential for some globals as well. We've been seeing a slow and steady rise of the Vikings returning into play. The Earth is healing. Vikings are returning to the towers as Tassadar will get banned out, which also, with any time Vikings become more meta, Abatha also jumps a little higher in priority, as we already see that Zeratul ban. So maybe we'll see one of those in the ban phase or in the pick phase. Maybe phase 2 bans, as there's still way too many meta heroes to maybe get prioritized first.
Looks like teams are just going to go ahead and prioritize picking away comforts, picking away excellent carries for the teams. We see the Zarya ban out. Well, she's definitely been very strong at the highest level of play, and she's been very popular in EU, as we have seen the past couple of weeks, they're just going to go ahead, get rid of her. There's clearly a very good Zarya player on the side of press forward. And Yrel taken away. The strongest solo laner in the meta, in my opinion, right now.
Yep, Yrel really has been dominating. There's the Vikings first pick. We called it, and also I believe this is one of the teams we saw we casted playing it earlier on last week. So seeing that taken here by Valimar, not too surprising. So now we see the priority onto either a early win composition with very high burst, a reset composition with something like Li Ming that's going to really get value from hunting Vikings, maybe a Falstad, maybe the Haka, maybe something like that. Or we start to see that Abathur sneak its way in once again. Looks like it's going to be the team fight composition to just try and win early with Zul and Chromie picked up.
Zul Chromie. It's an age-old composition. You can go ahead and just get that point-and-click CC route, and then Chromie can go ahead and follow with all of her wind-up abilities, because it is a rather long route. 1.75 seconds, I believe. And I think we saw Vikings last time we casted Heroic, but I don't know if it was Anti-Clown Association who played them. I know they picked them very early, and they're just really, really strong right now. They got a buff in the most recent patch.
Yeah. So, seeing the... excuse me. So, seeing the Li Ming stolen away here, it would have led it to a Chromie Li Ming composition, which would have been a little unusual between the two, as it's good damage, but you lose any straight-up fights. So, it would have been interesting to see that, but in this case, not going to end up happening as it is stolen away, and it's good ping damage to counteract that poke of Chromie and interrupt the objectives on those altars. Rhaegar's a very sensible bad here, although he isn't as effective with Vikings as some other heroes due to the fact that, well, his bounces might hit a Viking, and you don't want it to hit that because you want it to hit the actual useful heroes in a team fight.
Johanna going to be taken away for Anti-Clown Association. They already have their tank, Garrosh. One of the strongest tanks we have right now. I mean, I keep saying one of the strongest, like, teams, heroes. There's a lot of really good, solid heroes right now. I think it's the most variable our meta has been in quite some time. Johanna, though, being the very tippy top of the tanks, is going to be pulled away. So we could definitely maybe see an ETC out of press forward. They're going to save their tank for last. Mal'Ganis also rises in priority here. He can sleep away from Garrosh's throw. And then also Bats if he gets thrown into a compromising position. Honest Sylvanas picked up, which I think is really, really strong for the side of press forward. Sylvanas is so dominant in that bottom lane. If you can get your black arrows onto that bottom keep, then it's really hard to get back unless you have substantial pushing power.
Tracer Malfurion coming in here. The classic Tracer Li Ming composition. So that gives them that team fight, that pick potential on what is a really squishy backline. With Chromie, Sylv, Ana, even Zul might have trouble. And that's the idea here. They want picks to prevent objectives being taken too quickly. They have pokes, they have interrupts, while the Vikings soak, push, grab those bell towers and give them an extended lead. Anubarak are going to come out here, and I'm not so sure about that, honestly. It's going to protect them against Li Ming, but what's it really going to do that is going to be especially effective against Tracer? I personally maybe would have liked to see an Imperius or a Diablo or perhaps something like the Varian. It could have snuck its way in, but Varian versus Garrosh is risky.
Varian, Mal'Ganis, ETC has
been
considered one of the better tanks right now. We've seen a lot of Anubarak lately. Some more success than others, of course. Like you said, those beetles are going to help against the Li Ming, and especially around the altars. If Anubarak gets thrown, they can, of course, burrow charge away from the throw and even come back and, kind of disrupt the front line on their way out. Looking at these teams, though, I'm really torn. There's a lot of unique picks here, and we could spend, 45 minutes talking about what each one's strengths and differences are, but despite the Anubarak, I think I will have to give it to press forward.
So the Anubarak is solid, and I've really struggled to vote against the team with the Zul a lot of the time. But I think this Vikings composition is significantly more stable, and it's going to take a lot less effort to play, because their objective is literally pick heroes every now and again, and with no real ability to stop them outside of that Anubarak or Zul, I'm going to lean a little bit towards Anti-Clown Association on the left. But we're going to find out as we're going to head into game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. On the right-hand side, it is going to be press forward with Red Robot on the Red Bugbot. Playing the Anubarak here, we have J-Shifts playing that Zul, Speranza, playing that Sylvanas, Kirito on the Ana, and Lork 11 going to be on the Chromie.
Lork. Alrighty. And over here on the left-hand side, we have Frosty Wind on that Christmas Malfurion. Actually, is that Christmas? No, I think that's
No.
Flame Druid Malfurion. Funds on the Garage. Kaiser on the Tracer. Valimar on Eric, Olaf, and the other Viking.
Baylog.
Baylog. And Apparition is your Li Ming. This is Anti-Clown Association.
All right, setting up, getting ready to start off this game. As already, we're going to have a look at... Oh, we're going to hit the wrong button is what we're going to do. Feels good. Fixed it, though. Nice recall. Tracer's safe, but it's going to take a lot of damage from Sylv. Zul, overextending, though, is going to try and cut off the escape route here. Takes a lot of damage. He, by the way, went for Shade. A risky talent here with that 10-second cooldown increase on the bone armor here. Very risky to see here. Otherwise, it's going to be explosive attacks here. This is absolutely split push Baylog.
I can definitely understand the shade from Zul. The members of Anti-Clown Association are very squishy. As you see that Garrosh go down in the middle lane, and he's the thickest member on their team. So it makes sense to not go for that 12% health, as you won't get as much value. And then, of course, Tracer on top of you is a poor unmobile Zul. That's kind of nasty.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad time. And even with Garrosh being picked off, like you said, it's percentage damage on Sylvanas. They can blow up everyone in their way. They're going to have percentage damage later on Ana. They have so many pickup potentials here. Should be good until we reach later into the game where we might get some resets coming in from this Tracer Li Ming comp. Damage onto Speranza. They're going to try and pick him off. Wailing has already come out. Haunting Wave. But nice sleep dart from Kirito, shutting down funds.
Kirito coming in so clutch right there, protecting Sylvanas, making sure they get out nice and safely. And now the Stoppers, which were picked up by both teams, they're going to try and duke it out, see if they can't get their pumpkins pushed in. And the nice safe poke of the Chromie already doing a ton of damage to those Sappers.
Here come the level 4s for the side of press forward. We have that possession coming in for some counter push here. Garrosh taking a lot of damage here. May have just quickly picked Indomitable to keep himself alive, or that cooldown reduction on his heal because he's being bullied here. Looks like he will be able to back out and stay alive here and will survive and is able to pick Indomitable without panic. Shared Exoskeleton, Overdose, and his Jailers, so it is going to be either a slow or we did see a weaken Zul build in the cup yesterday, so there are some options here. Eric the Swift as well. Nice little bit of map rotation, a little bit of poke potential. Valimar's going to become so annoying on this Eric.
And one thing we want to mention just before we get into the first altar phase, we see Kaiser taking a ton of damage, very low. Nice stuns by Anubarak. Tracer does get picked off as Zul comes to join the party. Fun slept by Ana. Has to dip back into the base, and this should be the bottom altar going over to the side of press forward. But Chromie has her level 7 talent already. As a reminder, she gets her level 7 talent at level 2, or 2 levels before the other team got it. Could you imagine if she got it at level 2?
That would be absolutely miserable. It's almost like there's one hero who gets their heroic talent at level 4. As we see a little bit of harassment coming in. Like you said, it's a excuse me, a 2-for-1 coming in for press forward. They had full control there. Baylor came in for an attempted interrupt to try and do the double cap in top lane. And this is what the Vikings what the Vikings didn't want to happen. They wanted to put themselves in a position where they could delay and split soak for ages and get far ahead. But in this case, losing that member early on shut down any attempt at such a move.
Luckily, we are on Towers of Doom, and that has the best comebacks mechanics of any game. We see Zul get caught out by Garrosh, Pulse Bomb by Tracer, but he is able to pop that bone armor and get away safely.
Kelsia backs out, stays alive, Fun's able to stay upright too. And level 7 is hit for both teams into the fray. Nocturne Lotus down to stuff here, Calamity and Aether Walker, by the way, missed that a little bit earlier. And it is the Kindness waiting. Full shield build for a Nubrak for tankiness. Tragul's Essence, the talent that at max I think restores maybe 2 mana per minion death. It's not a great talent, but it might make a difference if they fight in lane, which is what you absolutely do on this map. Look at how close you are to the lane at this middle objective point, for example.
I always really hate to say this because these players are so much better than me, but I honestly wonder if that might be a misclick.
Yes, this is why I delivered the maximum sarcasm. I completely agree.
Because we've played with that talent before. Just I've had talked with some other pro players about going over Zool builds, what's best. And at level 26, with Tragul's Essence, we'll talk about that in a second, but at level 26, with Tragul's Essence, you get 1 mana back every time a minion dies.
That's not a lot. So in a minion wave, that's 7 mana per minion wave.
At level 26.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And then an extra 0.3 on each of those stacks per on the Trickles S's for the health as well. That's not a lot. Nice little run-in by Valimar there, making the most of the spin to win. Able to pick up a kill for them. Their first kill on the board, making it 1-2. But because of the Vikings, they're of course getting a very slight XP lead.
While we have the team soaking up here, we'll just go ahead and I was going to say take a look at those talents. That's all right. Li Ming going for that Aether Walker level 1. Nice stop by Chromie. However, that only delays the inevitable as she is going to go down despite Kirito's best efforts. As well as the Calamity coming out for Li Ming. Of course, we have that Temporal Loop for Chromie, seeing as Ana only has a post-cleanse by the time you can cleanse.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, Malfurion only has a post-cleanse, and by the time you can cleanse, it's usually too late.
Yeah, Ana only has a post-cleanse too, but he only gets it post-later levels, as we see Tracer able to pick up a kill here. We are seeing the Skeletal Mages coming in here for the Zool, and it is going to be play again for the Vikings. No Bruiser Boat Vikings. Boat still trash. Feels bad.
We tested the boat the other day, and it's still really potatoes.
It takes 2 here. It takes 1 hero to 1v1 you with the boat. Your heroic could be out damaged and killed. GG Glaive, thank you very much for the raid here. Welcome everybody as Kirito is in trouble. There comes Cocoon out, going to lock down Malfurion as Chromie with the blast from the side as adaptation is in response. That is a nano boost to the Nubarak trying to chase him in, trying to get the damage. Frosty Wind focus down. They don't land the stun though, but in the meantime, Speranza, okay, hang on. Eric from the side picks up a kill. Frosty Wind still in danger, but he's holding for now, trying to keep funds up. He's in full retreat, but he's healing himself up here. And Lork, he's alive. Kelsier waiting for his cooldowns as Lork's able to escape here. And finally, Red Robot is picked off.
Just immediately exploded by that Calamity. And a sentence I never thought I'd ever utter. This Sylve is getting absolutely bullied by the Vikings. It's really the most impressive thing I've ever seen, just being bullied. And then Kelser can just go ahead and take the kill. Dip in, dip out. She's got like 3 hit points left because she's just being absolutely dominated by these Vikings in lane. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it's doing well. It's only really Eric who's chasing down, making the use of that Eric the Swift, basically meaning he can chase you down anywhere. That 10% extra movement speed and 57 health per second. That is more than most regen master talents can even reach. So very solid here. Taunt, focus, root, dead. No, good little shield there, but Red Robot will finally be picked off. There's the nano boost. Will that be able to achieve anything? Valimar, temporal loop onto adaptation there, and they will pick up the counter kill. Nicely done, making that a 1 for 2. 2 for 2. Boop. Oh, he's alive. He's still going. Funds turns it. Looks for Lork and dead zone. Twilight Dream for good measure.
Zool is next on the chopping blocks. That Bone Armor comes out, but there is the Pulse Bomb, and Tracer, who can auto-attack while moving, is going to go ahead and just chop him off. Kirito, the only one surviving on the team, and we can really see the level 10 power spike from Anti-Clown Association. They're not going to give in without a fight.
Baydog, even though he's not moving right now, he will be able to move up and soak the experience here very shortly. Right now, Olaf's doing a good job as well. And Eric invades, harasses, and lives. Survives a little bit of extra damage. And that bell tower will be weakened. It will not be captured. But it's going to allow this altar to be taken with a little more safety, a little more security. And it looks like we're seeing Anti-Clown Association finally beginning to get ahead. Those Vikings are going to keep racing them in terms of experience. They're about to hit level 15. It's level 13. It's only just about to be hit by Press Forward. 2-level lead. Olaf, full retreat. He'll get out. Baylog reacting as well. Gets away from J-Shifts. And that is the shots coming in nice and easy. And bot lane pressure continues.
Press Forward not even attempting to contest there. They just want to focus on protecting this bottom forward. Soaking that XP to get 16. And then maybe looking for a potential fight around the next altar phase. I believe that is going to be our 3 altar phase, so that's when you can get the most damage done if you play your cards right. And right now, since they have to stay so safe back and back away from the enemy team, that is giving plenty of pushing opportunity to Anti-Clown Association, coupled with the fact that they've got the Vikings. That's a dead Chromie, instantly exploded, and a Nubarak is next. Twilight Dream comes out, does not hit anybody, and Kirito gets killed by the Malfurion throw.
And those kills keep happening. This is exactly what we called at the start of the game. All they have to do is to not die with the Vikings, and on this map, it's very hard to lose early game with the Vikings because you just can't base race on this map. So as such, all the Vikings have to do is hold, clear stuff at towers. You see the towers are weakened, but they're holding the experience here. Balog will die here. There's no questions asked about that. He will perish.
Oh, here's his friends, though.
Oh, no. There's Largent in charge. Largent in charge, locking him down. No escapes. Miranza chased down by the Vikings. Tracer for good measure. She was not needed here, but Vikings pick up the kill.
Oh, this poor Sylve getting stuck in the off-lane position. And Chromie getting thrown out. Garage gets stuck in the death zone. Unstoppable. But that armor, he gets a taunt in for good measure as well. Cocoon comes out onto Li Ming, trying to take Funds down, but he's so incredibly healthy. And Frosty Wind not being focused at all. Apparition takes a little bit of damage, finally getting out of that Cocoon. Has to back away. And Skeletal Mages are now coming out. Not a whole lot of value there. It just allows the team to escape safely and clear those sappers.
They will be able to hold for now. Huvit, thank you very much for the sub. So appreciated as we see the clear on the lane. In the meantime, 2 sets of altars were taken. Olaf gets one, Eric gets the other. And, well, Zul was interrupted one more time there, but they're not going to be able to get the full set here, so this will bring the core down 25 to 12 due to only 3 shots being taken in exchange for 10 due to that bottom altar being taken.
We do have Wailing Arrow, Temporal Loop, and Nano Boost up right now with 17 on the rise, 16 on the rise for Press Forward. We could definitely see a fight very soon. They have the tools that they need. Garrosh once again rolling out into the death zone. Boop, dead.
Good damage from Chromie, nearly shutting down Funds, but he tanks through, he lives. And that's another Nano Boost outside of a team fight because a pick came so quickly. And that Nano Boost is just not going to get the value. It feels terrible, man. But right now, Anti-Clown Association are snowballing through this. Another set of sappers coming in. They are going to retreat. They are going to let that go. Finally, we see Li Ming moving back in, and that will allow all 3 sappers to make it onto the core, bringing us down to 9 health. And it is going to be a weakened Zul build, so those skeletal warriors will lower the damage output of other heroes here as opposed to the slows. He misses his first stun, looking for more. Unstoppable comes in, Wailing Arrow, and Speranza, though, locked down by Largent in charge. They get the kill. Body blocks for good measure, but there's the anti-heal grenade, and huge damage comes out. Valimar gonna, look, you see that damage reduction here. He's still alive, though.
Insane healing from that Eric the Swift. And play again
Surprise.
comes out. Funds taking a ton of damage, but now all 3 Vikings jump onto Kirito. They do get the stun. Funds does eventually go down, and this looks like it could be a change on the rise for Press Forward.
They might have been up more than they could do here. They use the attack speed of Balog to take it down. Here comes the Twilight Dream. They're looking for Zul here. Nano Boost back off cooldown, not landing, but we are going to lose Olaf and Balog here. Eric will survive, and that was an overextension and an overstay from Anti-Clown Association. And Press Forward going to begin to take a small advantage on the map. However, while this is happening, Li Ming gets another 5 shots onto the core, and if they can delay mid or take mid, the game ends. Right now, Eric is causing a massive distraction here. Adaptation also trying to siege here as Red Robot comes in from the other side.
This is the last chance for Press Forward to maintain, and it looks like they're going to. Nobody able to interrupt Sylvanas, but she does cancel the tribute or the channel herself in an attempt to help the team. Malfurion goes down, and that is a huge
Chromie
benefit.
used her abilities. It's over. She used her abilities to try and poke down Apparition, and that's how shots come in.
Wow, that's incredibly disappointing.
Yep, use the abilities to try and poke down Li Ming instead of interrupting the objective. Too much focus onto the kill, and that is game number 1. Going over to Anti-Clown Association, making use of the Vikings there. They're going to take a 1-0 lead in this series.
Poor Speranza. They were just absolutely bullied the entire time. I felt so bad for them. Every time they tried to step out, do some good, get some value from those black arrows, it was just Vikings, Vikings, Tracer, you're dead. Even with the pickup of that Gosh, what is her unstoppable called? The Forsaken talent.
Will of the Forsaken,
Will
I
of the Forsaken. I want to say victory
there
for
it
the
is.
Forsaken, whatever it was. 2 unstoppables on her Banshees and on her Will of the Forsaken. She was still picked off. It just feels awful.
Feels bad, dude. The Vikings, they're no joke. They have been buffed. They are very hard to deal with now. And with that, this particular build, this is the second time I've seen Nordic Attack Squad. This is actually a little new to me, but it's cool to see it return and a little bit of extra damage coming in. That maximum health to enemy heroes is pretty decent with Vikings when you have 3 of them, so feels good. And that Large and in Charge is such a massive engage tool. We saw Eric with that speed boost, running people down with that spin to win. It was a very well played Vikings by Valimar, and was incredibly well played. And of course, they picked the 2 biggest Viking counters away. Honestly, that was just a really solid draft from Anti-Clown Association. That puts them up 1-0 in the series.
Valimar definitely showing why they are a household name in almost every league. It's just they're a very incredible player. They put in a lot of work, definitely, and I've garnered quite a large fan base. They're very good, and I'm excited to see what they play next game. We'll see if the Vikings get through again.
As am I. We're just waiting to see the next map. This would be map number 2. Again, this is a best of 3 series. Only series we have on for the night. But press forward, still have the chance to bring it back to a 1-1 and try and catch up to Anti-Clown Association, who are looking very, very strong in this first game. We all know that Vikings on this map are good. Maybe it's worth a map pick to prevent that kind of thing happening again while still keeping your preferred ban choices.
You could even look at something like Battlefield of Eternity, Braxis Holdout, one of those 2-lane maps where the Vikings get a lot less value if that's something that you're worried about. We also saw that when Press Forward engaged on their terms, they had incredible team fight potential. So again, another 2-lane map would be a fantastic place for them to go. Otherwise, other maps the Vikings don't get value on. Tomb of the Spider Queen, again, lots of fighting, lots of macro. They have a lot of possibilities if they don't want to worry about stealing out one of their bands.
Very true. So, we're still waiting for a lobby here. And we'll be able to jump in very shortly. I'm just closing down other chats to see if there is a lobby. We just haven't been invited yet. But either way, a solid game number 1 there. It was an unfortunate, apparently in-game is funds. They better not have started without us, but I assume that's a lobby. Hopefully we'll get an invite to that.
Could just be looking at the end screen, looking at some of their
Maybe,
opponents' talents.
Might be right. Yeah, either way, we'll wait for that lobby to reappear so that we know where we are heading for game number 2. Again, I'm just really impressed. That was the map choice, by the way, of Press Forward. And yet the Vikings still were left open. And, of course, first pick Vikings is back, baby. For some reason, it's back in the meta now.
I hate it.
I'm actually kind of excited because, there we go. I'm super excited because we are going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity. And I do like the fact that we are seeing more the return of the Vikings because I used to be a Vikings main. So seeing that return is actually quite nice for me.
I loathe the Vikings. I respect people who can play them because I think that it takes a lot of skill to do so. They were for a while the only very hard hero in the Nexus, but just soak forehead. The other enemy team can't do anything. Like, that feels awful to play against.
It's really, really hard to do, and in lower ranks it is a pain to deal with. And even in it's also a pain to play with at lower ranks too, though, because a lot of people just don't know how to play with it. They don't know to group and delay. They don't know just to eke every second of the game out to its max to get the best situation you can. A lot of Vikings players don't know when to group. I'm one of those people. I do mess up, and I do group too early sometimes. But the fact is, this particular style of Vikings is currently the best style of Vikings. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Blizzard maybe nerf this style of Vikings. I'm not sure how. Maybe they're wave clear in some way. I would quite like to see the return of Brawler Vikings with the effectiveness of the Longboat Raid maybe being buffed even more. Maybe to lower the value of Rocket Roller at level 20, because that's really good. But yeah, I just want to see that style of Vikings return where you actually bring the Vikings to fights, you have more team fights, instead of, well, they won the team fight, but their keeps are all dead, which is not as interesting to watch, in my opinion.
I really like the changes they made. I think they could definitely be improved on a little bit because as we saw in that last game, which, by the way, if anybody is learning to get into violence, Vikings, not violence. Violence too. Violence with Vikings. Go ahead and watch that game, help you get started. But as I was saying, we are seeing a little bit more of that resurgence of the Vikings can come and join and do a lot of damage. That 1.25% of max health really is a lot, even if your team is kind of squishy, as we saw the poor Sylvanas last game.
Absolutely, Sylvanas had a bad time, and Sylvanas is such a good hero as well. It's not a situation of, oh, well, Sylvanas is a little weak now. It was a situation of Sylvanas was getting bullied by Eric, and Eric is not the hero you expect to be bullied by, but the fact is, Sylvanas needs that protection, and they didn't have that protection because their other frontliner was Zul, and he wanted to get stuck in. And as such, their backline was completely uncontested. Speaking of uncontested, the argument that this game is starting now. Let's jump in to the draft for game number 2. It is going to be press forward with first pick, first ban, as this is the map choice of Anti-Clown Association.
Map or the hero priorities change a little bit with this map. I just cannot speak today, you guys. You should have seen my D&D session earlier. Goodness.
I had fun.
On a band away, right out the gate, that nano boost is just a little bit too strong to go ahead and give over first hand. Zarya band away, immediately the teams are snapping through these super quick, which kind of moots the point of heroes change in priority. I was going to say we might see some Greymane, some Vala, some Lunara bands here, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and stick with respecting the other team and taking away really strong heroes. Urel, excellent for the map, just a lot of really solid wave clear and can hurt with those autos.
Absolutely, really wants to remove that here. We watched some games where Urel bullied the Deathwing here, and when you have a hero who can bully Deathwing that hard with no percentage damage until late game, it's a bad time. Abatha, a hero who does actually work quite well on this map, despite common belief here, going to be taken away. And it looks like press forward, even though losing the first match, they are confident in the Chromie, and are going to pick that up for the second time.
Well, you can't interrupt this objective, so...
That's true. I mean, you can interrupt it if you kill the enemy team.
That's a fair point.
Don't need to interrupt if you're dead. As we see that Chromie picked up, what do we see counter here? Rhaegar this time was let through the draft. Zul again was let through. We have a lot of the race heroes. Vala, ETC, the most racy tank, and Reyna, another one of those race heroes, very effective. But we do still have Greymanes, Valas, Li Mings, all these heroes. I very doubt we'll see Li Ming on the side of press forward, because Li Ming Chromie would be double mage, and that is risky.
I'm really curious as to why they picked up the Chromie so early. It worked well for them last time, so maybe it could just be a case of a comfort pick. They know that they can play well. There might be a really strong Chromie player on the other team. But with people like Li Ming, Greymane available, I'm curious why it was a first pick Chromie. However, we got a Samuro, one of the best heroes in the game, 5th highest win rate. Let's go.
The Vikings of Battlefield of Eternity, Samuro, with that massive map push potential and the ability to absolutely detonate backline heroes. And of course, one of the best races in the game as well. If they were able to play around this with the rest of their composition with a good defensive frontliner, then they have a very good chance to give themselves a very solid lead with that map pressure, which is why we really will need to see Anti-Clown Association focus a little more on the map D-push, maybe someone like a Falstad, maybe a Leoric, but someone who's going to be able to rotate back to the team very quickly as Samuro. It takes him one teleport to rejoin his team and turn it into a 4v5.
Looking here, I'm seeing what could be picked up for the teams. Chen banned away. There's really not a whole lot more to say about that than Chen is actually really highly valued in some of the higher level games. I have absolutely no idea why. That has always eluded me. Not because he's a bad hero. Like I'm not saying. I don't understand why, like, you know, Grandmaster 67 is picking Chen, and I'm down here like, oh, well, Imperius is clearly the best.
The reasoning for that is while Imperius has a very short-range stun, Chen is in your backline kicking you in the head while never dying, and if you try to get him, he transforms into 3 Chens and then roots you, and the rest of his team by this point have killed you.
That's a fair point. We do see Anduin Li Ming come out for Anti-Clown Association. Good, solid raise, and a nice pluck from the Stukov. Johanna coming out for press forward, and I think this is going to be much better than their Anubarak. She's very strong right now, and that Unstoppable allows her to race right into the back line of Anti-Clown Association. Also, she has 2 interrupts for a mosh pit.
Yes, the interrupts for the mosh pit are going to be a huge deal here, and I love Johanna as a fantastic frontline to protect the rest of the team and protect the objective while Samuro does Samuro things. My concern now, though, is that Maiev. Now, Maiev is a little bit more risky because she confirms a bit more of a team fight style composition position, which is a lot riskier because it implies Samuro will be with the team more as opposed to split pushing, and she is less effective here. Now, this could be a Warden's Cage Blade Storm build if we really wanted to see that memes, but that's going to be a lot harder now because Deathwing's on the board. He's going to have fantastic wave clear, which is exactly what we're looking for, global potential to rejoin the team fast, the ability to hard engage the backline, and of course, he is going to be able to walk straight through that Warden's Cage and prevent that from getting too much value. Deathwing might just be the most effective last choice they could have made.
I definitely agree with that, Tetcher. I didn't even think about it until you brought up the Warden's Cane, so he can just kind of walk around and pop, 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 because he is completely unstoppable all the time. However, one thing that I've noticed about Deathwing that can make it kind of difficult into Johanna is he is great for pinging off of your team.
Oh, yes.
You can throw it to the Deathwing and then at least hit one of the backline heroes. It could be the tank. Yep. Which is unfortunate, but you are almost...
Deathwing is the Scott Sterling of Blessed Shield bounces.
Just hit him. Also, in my opinion, Deathwing's kind of a big pinata, but I'm not a very good Deathwing, nor am I a very good player, so we'll have to see how they do in this this Battlefield of Eternity game.
I do agree that Deathwing is very easy to kill off sometimes. My concern is, though, Samuro is going to have to do a lot of that work. Chromie will be able to ping and get him low, but Samuro is going to have to do the finishing job here, and that puts him in a vulnerable position against ETC. We will find out as we are now into the game, ladies and gentlemen, and on the left-hand side, currently 1-0 up, it is Anti-Clown Association with Apparition on Li Ming, Frosty Wind on the Anduin, Funds on ETC, Kelsia on the Reyna, and Deathwings being played by Valimar.
And over on the right-hand side, we have Jay Shifts on that Sneaky Samuro, Kirito on that Stukov, Red Robot is the Johanna, Speranza on that Maiev, and Lork, once again, is your Chromie. This is Press Forward.
They're going to start off here at level 1. We see the Spine Launcher once again for the first time because there's a giant target over here. Block Party coming in for ETC. Very sensible, especially as we're seeing the nicest Memento here. Going to try and remove some of that physical damage that we see both Samura and a little bit of Maiev going for.
Fun fact about Spine Launcher, Stukov's melee auto attack is so high that even when he takes the 20% nerf damage, he's still on par with Hanzo. So, yeah, he's a support that does as much damage as a ranged assassin.
See a little bit of harassment coming in, lots of pressure being applied. And like you said, I believe Stukov does have the highest damage per second of any hero, or at least the highest auto-attack damage. Frosty Wind in trouble with a great way to pustule. It's going to be Raider, the first to fall, though. They do look for Frosty Wind and pick him up with the resets of Speranza, and they pick up the second kill of the game. Massively effective start from Press Forward.
They're looking for blood now. ETC able to back away safely. Up here in the top lane, it's just Valimar and J-Shifts making ugly faces at each other right now.
Yep, just letting it go. Kind of sad we don't see Way of the Illusion for massive memes here to just bully Valimar, but he cleans out everything that's up here very effectively. This is going to be a slower lane, however. In the meantime, sneaky camp being taken here by Kelsia. No one's going to scout that for now. However, we now leave just Li Ming, really, as an effective clear down here for this camp. ETC is going to push his way up a little bit forward. If he can get behind them, we can, of course, knock them into tower range, and that will help. Samuro has rumbled this.
Sees that they're on it, however, in the 1v2 he's not able to win. And one thing that I noticed when we were up in the top lane is due to Deathwing's level 1 talent, that's going to counter Samuro a little bit. We saw him come out and get a little bit of damage, but the Dragon Soul is going to heal him up anytime those Samuro clones are right next to him. So, couldn't be as free as we originally thought.
Absolutely, when he's in melee mode, you see that big chunk of healing there. Like you say, very effective talent choice here for the melee. It's going to give him so much sustain here. 75% of the damage done to heroes is going to be a very big deal. Going to swap to range mode for now as he's just going to attempt to assist the sieging of this camp. Meantime, bot lane, more pressure onto towers. This tower will fall eventually. It's just a very casual push in this bot lane. No one's really going for any kills anymore. This is a very early camp start by Anti-Clown Association, though.
I could be looking to hold it before the Immortal gets too far. Never mind. Just kidding. There it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there isn't a whole lot of siege clear on the side of Press 4. They have the Maiev, but it looks like they're also starting as well. Theirs will be a little bit closer. We should see Maiev jump down to clear that up and then potentially head to the race.
Samuro, copy, swap, eating it with an Arcane Orb to the face. He's gone for Mirage here, a little bit of Spell Armor. Didn't help him there. It might actually, I think the Spell Armor there might have saved his life from Li Ming. Gotta be careful around that as we finally see the objectives up. And already a slight lead for Anti-Clown Association as they put the pressure on.
Red Robot taking a little bit of harassment there, has to back up. Leap of Faith coming out very early into this fight as Jinxeekatt gets a really solid lurking arm onto Raynor. Teams are just going to back up as we see an early lead on the Immortal for Press 4, or Anti-Clown Association, excuse me.
Percentage damage coming in for the Maiev here, adding some extra kill potential for that Deathwing. That's 6% on that sudden vengeance here. They push forward, Red Robot with the pressure. But in the meantime, Raider, mostly uncontested, just continues to ping away from the side. And they're holding for the moment. Li Ming from over the wall as well. At Deathwing, he stays a bit too long, killed off by the objective. And a little bit of help coming in for the rest of the team. Speed Battle to help dodge Chromie and escape from the Samuro here. But right now, didn't work out for Deathwing because he's unaffected by it.
Funds tries to go in for the power slide. However, the Iron Skin is up for Johanna. Raynor having to retreat through that lurking arm. This should be going over to Anti-Clown Association fairly easily. We see a nice race for Press 4, but they're just not quick enough. Not yet. They do get the globes, however.
They do get the globes. Going to heal up Chromie and, of course, Maiev, who will move down to the bottom lane for the defense here. Samura, in the meantime, continues to brawl with Valimar. You can see, even with that healing, it's not really enough to stop the armor plate getting pinged off as J-Shifts. Those Samuro hits do a lot of damage here, going with that Way of the Blade here, reducing physical armor on Deathwing, which kind of negates one of Deathwing's key points here, as finally level 7 is going to be hit by both teams.
Maiev jumps in, trying to get that harass onto Li Ming, but a nice slide from ETC. However, an even nicer lurking arm from Kirito is going to prevent them from doing too much damage to them. Immortal almost nearly taken down. The team is going to get the wall and maybe the fountain. It doesn't look like it. They're just going to take what they can get and back out.
They hold it for now. Here comes the pullback. Funds in position. Times it perfectly. Red Robot gets absolutely deleted. That was the perfect timing with the end of the Iron Skin, and Funds, he knows how to do this. We have a slight visual bug here, and it is being pinged to point it out. Samura, by the way, crushing blows. He's really going in on trying to pick off this Deathwing, and successfully does so. These two talents work so well against Deathwing, and he just rushes him down. Also, Deathwing, as a reminder, we talked about that level 1, he heals from the damage dealt to enemy heroes, and that damage is lessened by Mirage. Samuro is 100% built to counter Deathwing here.
Early on, I thought that it might come in. Okay, well, the damage that he deals is just going to be healed up. But now that you point out the Mirage, it makes a lot of sense. We still got our little Anduin squiggle down here in the bottom lane.
This is the only time we're really going to get a real... Hang on, maybe fight. Funds. Okay, they're back in... Oh, down it! No, it's back.
There it is!
Okay, this is the first time we get a really good look at it. Come back! Okay, so it's just runes. The runes in spinny whirlwind circles. It's like Sonya's whirlwind a little bit. Or the One Ring. All right,
I've never actually seen that. Okay, back to the game now, though. Everybody's just going to go ahead and pick up camps and towers as fast as they can. We do see Maiev and Samuro able to grab that top siege camp. And now teams should start to head to their bruisers as they get ready for the second Immortal phase.
The rest of the team, starting on the Fallen Shaman camp, Funds is on the other side of the map on a vacation, trying to scout out and interrupt rotation, see if anyone's stealing camps. But his team just get their Fallen Shaman camp nice and quickly, and it looks like their early cap works in their favor here, because this one only just respawned, meaning Press Forward aren't actually able to race theirs. They have to wait until the halftime show to do so. However, they are getting a very good race on the halftime show, except for Stukov getting stunned out here, and they are able to win the halftime show here by 4,000 health.
Valimar really struggling to come and help as they do have to go ahead and push out that camp up top. Press Forward deciding they're just going to let that other one push. The Immortal is more important to them right now. Samuro headed down there finally to clean it up.
The level 10 lead is about to disappear. They tried to make something happen with it. Unsuccessful. Here come those level 10s on the side of Press Forward to even it up here. Here comes Deathwing from the side. He has Bellowing Roar. For now, he's just trying to tank the backline. Samuro being a good delay tactic here. Here comes the Warden's Cage, and it is just going to be walked through by Valimar, who's looking for Kirito here. They're going to try and chase him down. Instead, it's going to be Speranza. And the splitting coming out from Press Forward is causing all kinds of harassments, but Valimar looking for the kill stage dive, and they're able to pick off Kirito. The Pro Loop going to come in here. They're going to try and pick up Funds, but the Q comes out too early, and this is going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of Anti-Clan Association. Make that 3 for 0. No way Lork's getting out of here. J shifts. I hope he has somewhere to teleport to. He does, but he cut it close.
Just an absolutely awful fight for Press Forward. They did their best. They were getting kind of ahead, but as soon as Valimar came in, it really changed the game, able to jump onto the already low members of the team. And we saw, like you said, stage dive come in. We usually see the mosh pit. However, with all the interrupts on the side of Press 4, they must have decided that one was just a little bit better, and it definitely paid off, being able to finish off those low health targets in the back.
Worked out in their favor very nicely here. So they were able to kill that off. They didn't win the we did see the objective being taken by Press Forward. They were able to do that, but we already saw it was cleaned up super fast in this bottom lane, only killing off a tower here. And that's really been the name of the game right now. Right now, Press Forward struggling with the team fights, but the laning is going quite well, pinging Deathwing to the sky once again. They're going to race down some towers for some counter XP.
Okay, can I be like super toxic for like 1 second?
Yes, of course, do it.
That Immortal did so little, I thought it was Anti-Clan Association who picked it up. I didn't realize that they just didn't get anything with it. Stage dive up in the top with the light bomb, absolutely taken out. Stukov goes down, Johanna and Maiev soon to follow, and there's really nothing that Press Forward can do about this global potential. Not even global potential, just global realization by Anti-Clan Association.
The resets from Li Ming, picking up too much damage, Deathwing and ETC causing too much mayhem. This is just working so well. Raider setting up all these kills so nicely with all the damage output he's doing. Everything's just going in their favor right now. Anti-Clan Association 7 kills to 4, so not even that far ahead in terms of kills. But in terms of objective control, they have everything. Leap of Faith, not even going to be needed here. Funds just tanks through, nice and easy. Valimar eats a couple shots, so Funds doesn't have to, and they're able to back away.
Nothing Press Forward can do except for try and soak up to get level 13 before this next Immortal. They can go ahead and look to grab their camp. Samuro in the bottom lane, they should be just about even as it comes in here. But it is going to be a little bit of a uphill battle as they are going to have to try and soak while also defending their Immortal.
See the focus onto the Immortals here. Pretty solid race from both teams. It is actually going to be super close. Only 2,000 health this time between the two, with a slight lead coming in for Press Forward once again. However, Deathwing was not here for the race this time. Are we going to see him drop, or are they going to wait for the team fight? We see a little bit of a race. It looks like the team fight's instead going to come in for Press Forward as we see the dive in with a lovely Warden's Cage this time, but Apparition teleports over the wall here. Samuro says none of that and takes him out. In the meantime, Lightbot was at the backline, will hit Red Robot as Valimar's desperately trying to survive. He has to drop the Bellowing Roll, though, to tank through this, and the fight is spread so far here. Funds in full retreat here, he will back away, and that makes that a 1 for 0. Li Ming, the only one to fall there thanks to the chase. Here comes Stage Dive back in for round 2. They're looking for Kirito, trying to chase him down, but no one's in position for the damage output, and instead of Kirito going down, it is going to be the support of Anti-Clan Association being picked off, and finally, a much better fight for Press Forward.
Phenomenal turnaround by Press Forward. I was a little bit worried about how thinly they spread their team there, but with Red Robot being in the back, able to harass any members who went out, and Samuro Maiev jumping forward to protect the backline, they were able to make sure they were able to put a ton of damage onto the damage dealers of Anti-Clan Association, and then just have Johanna clean up in the back, who you don't necessarily think of as the cleanup hero, but with the CC, she was able to lock him down and just go ahead and end it. This is still here.
Yep, it's still there. Still there indeed. And now they have to defend an Immortal that's going to come rushing through it. A virulent reaction picked here. Mirrored Steel, I like this. More sets of Mirage to come in. That's quite fun here. Bladed Armor combined with Eluded Wrath is so strong. Going to keep Maiev that a little bit more sustained. And so far, all of this has worked in their favor. Fire and Fury for the Deathwing here. Cool to see.
You get to see a nice 4-man push with the Immortal, and this fort is not long for the world. It goes down just now, and the team with a relatively healthy Immortal are going to be looking for this keep wall. Staying nice and far back, don't want anything to do with the ETC. Leap of Faith comes out, Blessed Shield comes, pings him in the back, but they're not going to get any kind of value onto ETC or the rest of the team.
Lots of retreat pings coming out. Fun's really looking for it, but will not find anyone. Lork is already out of there. so they're unable to even demount anyone. It's a full retreat. Very nice map awareness from Press Forward, and they're going to go sensibly all the way back home. They don't want to take a fight even over a mercenary camp, so instead, Anti-Clan Association will make the correct move and take it, and they are still ahead in XP. Despite losing that fort, they are still a little bit ahead here, and as such, they're trying to race themselves to level 16.
Only half a level. We are going to see Samuro taking that siege camp up here in the top, which will put them closer to the level of Anti-Clan Association. And they've come back a little bit. They were about a level down before that nice fight, and now taking the fort and the wall and getting those 3 kills. We're finally seeing Press Forward able to take a more aggressive stance on the map.
That they are, as Lork takes a defensive position here. Funz hiding himself from view here, so they don't know he's here yet, but he's actually being closed in on here. Do they know? He's gonna juke here. He's gonna find Lork.
What?
Lork doesn't find him. Here comes the temporal loop, though. Funz pulled in, bless shield, stun, and he just stayed way too long. He could have got out if he just walked away.
I understand what he was doing there. I honestly think that happened by accident, however. Lork was just in the right place at the right time. Temporal Loop did come out, slay him really quickly, and now this next Immortal objective is going to be a struggle for the blue team, as teams are going to be able to get into position 5v4, and he'll still have 9 seconds left on his death timer as the Immortal spawns.
He does have stage dive though, so he will be able to rejoin his team very quickly when he arrives. Showstopper coming in for that extra armor in these fights. Pox Populi for the Stukov here, that 3-second cooldown reduction. And press the attack. Attack speed up to 40%, which is basically the anti-Deathwing talent coming in for the Samuro.
A little bit of information in the chat. Lork basically only plays Zarya and Chromie. So it makes sense that we're seeing the Chromie twice. We're seeing them picked up early in that draft. And at halftime show, ETC is back up. He did choose to walk in instead of using that stage dive. And now we will see Anti-Clown Association on the defense. Samuro pushes in with that Fallen Shaman camp.
But here's the issue though. Now they are stuck in a position where they really want to defend, but Samuro's on the map, so he can just split push every single lane here. He doesn't have split push talents, but he's still good enough at it to be a nuisance. And this is the issue that they have on the side of Anti-Clan Association now, because they want to put themselves in a position where they can gain the advantage and wait for the opponents to come to them, but Samuro's going to deny that. For now, Deathwing is going to give them some counter soak, so they will be able to match that for now, but immediately, while they know they are going to be even on fights, maybe even advantage, Samuro can rotate in first, they wrap around, they get some poke. This is just smart play by Press Forward.
And I'm sure Anti-Clown Association is feeling it. As the Blessed Shield comes out, Raynor in an awful position, gets rooted by the lurking arm, goes down.
The focus coming in here. Valamar, pretty tanky for the moment. With Raynor down, Frosty Wind gets the light bomb onto the invisible Samuro, who will scoot away, making that a 1-for-0. But in the meantime, the Immortal taken out, so they get the kill. They finally get the Immortal from Chromie, and they're going to get out. This was just a very successful push once again. Samuro just going to pull back to base, takes the safe way out.
Valamar in that melee mode was not able to stun anyone out, so they were able to just go ahead and get free poke. And Anti-Clan Association must really be feeling the heat now. It feels kind of bad, just like last game. With Samuro running around, like you said, it's quite difficult to be split 3 ways on a 2-lane map. It feels awful. Do you defend the camps? Do you defend the camps that are up? Do you defend the Immortal? The team has to make these choices, and it seems even though while they might be making the correct choices, JSF is just saying, okay, you know what, that's cool. I'm going to go do this. Bye, guys. Have fun. And, you know, shifting to one of their clones with that Illusion Master. Blessed Shield comes out. Apparition taking a ton of damage. Maiev pulls him. Frosty Wind back in. 22 health. He will escape with his life.
He stops to maybe heal himself, decided against it. Valamar is slain. Stage dive comes in. Massive shove shuts it down, though. And this is bad news. That Deathwing diving in, thinking it was a fight, but with the animal retreating out, shuts that down. Keep will perish here. Fun's in full retreat because he could get picked off here if they're not careful. Chromie continues to siege. They're looking to get more out of this, but the Immortal will die. So unless they get kills, which is unlikely due to positioning of Anti-Clan Association, they are going to retreat and not go for the end push. Samuro also wasn't here, so they play it safe.
First keep of the game going over to press forward, and that has got to feel great as they are now up in experience when at about mid-game they were a level and a half down. They are going to reach 21st, and they basically have full control over this map. We can see Samuro on the mini-map heading up to that top lane as the rest of the members grab this bottom camp, and it's just going to be a lot of D-push defense right now for press forward. Or Anti-Clown Association. Gosh, I can't keep them. Everybody is pressing forward.
Everybody presses W, but not always, because that is press forward in most games, but not this one. Reyna, you can see him here not cleaning the lane quickly. He's keeping this lane sustained near his towers here because there's no reason to clear it quickly. He's not going to hit level 20 any faster because he has to wait for the next lane to arrive anyway, and he has to wait for his team to do bot lane. So what he does here is he keeps the lane in a position where they can farm it without dying to Samuro, and that's a very smart idea here. Fun's now going to be the one clearing it as he is the off laner right now due to global potential, him or Deathwing. And for now, they're just going to very calmly, very slowly farm the minions underneath their towers to race themselves to that 20th level.
You do see Samuro up on the top, finally grabbing that siege camp. Just going to go ahead and hold it. Now that they know the team is there, they're just going to step back, try and pick it up. And Red Robot trying to get a peek at the team. Deathwing comes and puts him in his place. He is going to have to back off.
Pull back away, make sure he doesn't get caught out of lane here. Deathwing, they're going to do some damage to the Fallen Shaman, but it looks like the priority is in fact going to be on the fighters now. They have level 22. Here comes the Repulsion. Double cleanse here with Glyph of Faith. Very sensible here. Deathwing with Destroyer's Rampage coming in here. Very cool to see. And ETC has yet to pick. Finally, he's going to pick up Storm Shield here. There was a chance he could have picked Death Metal. Samuro clone. This could very easily become real Samuro. There's two clones here. This is where it becomes risky.
Everybody on the back line of Anti-Clown Association just having to keep their distance. Not sure which Samuro is the real one. And now they can finally step up and try to defend. We see those Samuro clones doing a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, those Fallen Shaman and... those are the Impalers doing a ton of damage up in that top lane. They did lose that early fort, and those are going straight to core.
Stuns come out looking good. Lightbomb for the attempted turnaround, but it's dodged beautifully. An Apparition. He will survive, though. They do get J, but no dominance for Apparition here. Means he's not able to get the value with Anduin. It traded out, though, for Samuro and for Stukov. They win a fight, and can they get Speranza? ETC chases down. Funds picks up the kill, and they get a 3-for-1. Finally getting the value. Valabar's not done. He wants Red Robot. He's going to chase him down here, looking for the kill. Oh! Cool.
Oh!
Cool. Double cool. They look for Lork, but Lork's already out of there. But they get the kill. That's a 4-for-1, and they're finally going to win an Immortal. ETC, he's going to have stage time for 30 seconds, but as such, will immediately counter Raze, picking up the catapults, killing off the Impalers, preventing their core from taking damage. And this is Anti-Clown Association's chance to make a comeback, and not only that, but maybe win the series.
We could have just seen a massive throw here from press forward. They will be up in 14 seconds, so they'll have enough time to come and defend that Immortal. It is going to go bottom lane. Okay, I thought it was going to go top, but bottom lane is still good, nice and healthy.
It was 50-50 flip. Everything is even.
I never get those right.
Oh, dear. Alrighty. This is still here. Immortal's going to land on it, and it looks like they're going to get ready to head in. ETC... Stage dive is back up. Deathwing is in the sky. And as such, he's going to begin running there, but of course he can arrive at a moment's notice. Samuro sends in the clones, maximum annoyance, and of course to proxy the lane to make sure that this Immortal has no assistance with it. Here comes ETC.
We could potentially see a Samuro gank onto these swishing members of the backline as he has the ability to weave in and out of the line without worrying about losing his life. The Immortal Shield is down now. A nice pick-off by Chromie and Maiev doing their best to go ahead and make it nice and low. Deathwing drops down underneath the keep, immediately starts taking talent, or taking...
See, the focus keep will go down finally. The shots, like you said, did do good damage, but they're forced to retreat. Frosty Wind, the only one without a cleanse, pulled back in. No follow-up there. Good zoning by the rest of the team, reacting to this nicely. Stage Dive was traded out for Blessed Shield and Temporal Loop here, and Deathwing going to be pulling back to base. They will hold everything under control for the moment and move down to take another Mercenary camp. They got the keep. That's mission accomplished. They have evened up the structures.
We're going to go ahead and see press forward, jumping up to take that top camp, try and get a little bit extra push in their more dominant lane. Looks like Anti-Clown Association just want to go ahead and try and clear that out, as there is a big, thick minion wave up in the top lane. Bruiser Camp available for press forward. We'll see. Looks like Anti-Clown Association might be going to try and steal it. However, as you just pointed out on the map, Tetcher, there are a couple of catapults heading for the core.
And the fact they see those that Bruiser Camp was not being taken, the catapults become #1 priority. They're going to head back and deal with that. Will they do it in time, actually? Shield's taking a lot of damage. Li Ming's just running it in to try and race it, and they will finish those off before too much value comes in. But that's a free license for this Fallen Shaman camp to be taken by press forward.
And now we can even see press forward try and take the Bruiser camp of their opponents, as they can go ahead and step up 5v5 and not have to worry about any shenanigans behind them.
They're going to rotate up. Fallen Shaman is the focus. Kill that off. This is all just solid, slow play from both teams, as right now either one is in a position where the game could just end, but the aggression is coming from press forward here, as Red Robot is the one to step up, see if he can find the angle for that Bless Shield, as this camp currently uncontested.
ETC going to go ahead and check up. The Samurai clones keeping a close eye on the members of Anti-Clown Association. Chromie just going to go ahead and harass Funds a little bit, who is nicely healed up by the Anduin, and this might be a game. Whoever gets this Immortal should be the victor. Valar having to end very early to make sure that camp is secured. Out comes the Temporal Loop, not able to hit anyone, unfortunately. Well, it does, but they can't get any value off of it.
Race already coming in. Samura value, getting some good damage onto that Immortal, taking 5,000 off its health. And Chromie pinging in more shots. See the time trap there onto Deathwing. That armor reduction dropped it to 20, but no one was in position to follow up. Now, everyone pulls back, plays it safe, as the defensive position is taken by Anti-Clown Association.
The teams are playing so carefully right now. We take a look at the kills, 11 to 10, and they're both just waiting for their opponent to make a mistake. Li Ming pinging away, finally getting a little bit of race onto that enemy Immortal. With that Mirror Ball, she is going to be able to do a ton of damage. Johanna gets stunned, but a quick Iron Skin prevents her from taking too much damage.
Warden's Cage is good. Lightbomb using the Warden's Cage to turn it there as Red Robot is chased down. He becomes the only casualty as J-Shift's able to escape really, really barely, but he does get out of there. He got out of there without Sakuchi as well, so nicely done. Speranza focused down. Good vault to the Wardens, but he's only buying time for his team right now, but that time might be what they need. Reset comes in, staggered death, but now they have a little bit more time for Johanna to come in, and because of that, we do see an Immortal race. They're just going to rush it down because that is going to give them a much better chance of killing the core. ETC goes to clear out catapults, and Anti-Clown Association going for the safe push for finish, as the Samura and Chromie is still scary.
Luckily, it is halftime show right now, so Johanna and Maev will have a chance to respawn, and they can maybe look to do something here, take a fight behind the Immortal. ETC, with that stage dive ready, can be in at a moment's notice, so they're just going to continue to clear out that top lane.
Li Ming and Reyna continuing to ping in all of their damage. Kelsier steps up very far here. Here comes stage dive. They want the backline, actually. They're looking for Stukov here. They run for Kirito. Time trap comes out, but it only hits Reyna, allowing Li Ming the clean path through. They grab yet another kill. A massive staggered death right now. 57 seconds left on that hero. In the meantime, though, Samuro is doing Samuro things.
Going to try and get as much as he can off of that shield, make it nice and easy for the team to clean up. So we see everybody is just going to go ahead and hop off the Immortal, except for Raynor and Anduin. And they're also looking to grab both the camps. Team is very split here. This could be an opportunity for Press Forward to find their way back to this game.
He's going to lose some armor plates to these. He's going to lose an armor plate, but he's probably going to fly up anyway. You see the massively aggressive move forward coming out from Press Forward. They really want to pick up a kill before the Immortal lands here to get a quick advantage, but now their man advantage has disappeared. Samuro, though, doing the absolutely right thing here. He heads to the core. This is his chance to keep his team in this game by forcing ports, forcing a retreat. Are they going to try the base race? Deathwing, by the looks of it, has flown into the air. He might be the one to try and stop Samuro from rushing this down. He can take this. No one else is porting Jinxie. Are they going to react to this? Are they going to deal with this? Deathwing finally going to land. He hits the wrong target here. He's forced one port. Has J-Shift's done enough for his team to take the defense here? Right now, the Immortal is going down, down, and no one has died, so they are holding this.
This could just be the keep, and we could go to another Immortal phase. As the Temporal Loop comes out, a little bit of damage, out comes that Glyph of Faith, and the Immortal, with just a couple thousand health, J-Shift's able to make it away. He's done it. He's done exactly what his team needs to do. They're not out of the woods yet, as they do now have a naked core, but this isn't game ending. Excellent play by Press Forward.
This was heads up, keeping them in this. I'm going to have a quick tab to look at experience here. You can see Samura up to 15,000, Deathwing 18,000, both doing a fantastic job for their teams here, respectively. And Samura, he sends a clone out onto the map, just in case he needs to teleport. We're going to send one to the mercenary camp, scout that out, see if he can get any extra knowledge here. And this is looking great between these two teams so far. This is a fantastic game number 2.
J-Shifts has done a great job of instilling paranoia in Anti-Clown Association that no matter where you are, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to do something dastardly. You guys want to go take the team camp or the team fight? That's fine. I'll go harass your core. You want to take the camp? That's fine. I'll go harass your core. You guys want to protect the core? Okay, I'm on that camp you started. It's incredibly difficult for them to make plays, knowing that Samuro is going to be in their base, in their camps. It's just maddening.
It's going to be very difficult for them to deal with. They've got to find a way to turn it. Right now, they're so scared of Samura, they don't even finish their camp. They get it down to 1 Fallen Shaman, and guess what? Samura's going to find that. He can bump back in and start to take that if he wants to. J-Shifts will have vision on that. Rest of the team in position. They might be looking just to try and pick up a kill and end it. But they know that this camp was not finished. It just wasn't able to be taken out.
And who's going to look? It's actually not J-Shifts, it's Red Robot.
Yep.
But if they figure that out, you know who they could send over there?
Yeah. They already know it's not been taken, but they decided that the sort of brawl around the top lane was more important, just in case, to make sure they had everyone there for a 5v5. So they decided against it, and as such, it will finally go over to Anti-Clown Association.
Samuro finally popping in, gonna go ahead and do a little bit of damage onto this Immortal, and you just look at the way these teams are racing down. Both Immortals over 50,000 health. A strong shield really could spell the end for either one of these teams. As we're 30 minutes into Battlefield of Eternity, that just doesn't happen.
It does not happen indeed. Very rare. We're going to see Samura move down to bot lane to begin cleaning up that Fallen Shaman camp that was just taken. And as such, it's Anti-Clown Association who move onto the map. You can see the clones, though. They are here for the defense. Trying to hold this. Samura, again, very slowly clearing. He's going to leave the clones behind to grab himself a fountain.
Both teams so close to that halftime race. It looks like Anti-Clown Association is just a smidge in the lead. But here comes Press Forward, doing a lot of damage to that Immortal, pushing the teams back, and both of them are just trying to defend, trying to get their catapults stacked up in their respective lanes.
Chromie doing a good job. Lots of poke onto this Immortal, really trying to whittle that down. Longer this goes on for, though, the better this for Anti-Clown Association as the second catapult has now arrived at core with Fallen Shaman holding the line. Finally, J-Shifts is going to make his way back to deal with this.
And we should see Anti-Clown Association press up. Chromie, Johanna splitting 2 different ways, making it difficult for the teams to fight. Samuro sending in the clones, making sure he can be back to the fight in just a teleport. Fun's taking a little bit of damage from those clones. We can see Press Forward jump in, trying to get a little bit more damage on that Immortal.
J-Shifts pops back in. He's done his work. Scored down to 79%, though, with all that pressure. Needs to keep an eye on that. They can't afford to have that happen again, but already another catapult is making its way in. Samura clone's clearly to be annoying. He swaps in for Kelsia. You can see just how deadly that Samura is. You could be dueling a clone and then suddenly, oh, real Samura, and my health is gone.
I wasn't really sure about the Chromie pick for Press Forward, but seeing how they just have a massive amount of range to go ahead and poke onto this Immortal, I really see the value now. That being said, Lurk is getting destroyed. They are stopped for the moment. Immediately gets picked up. That's going to be a reset for Raynor. 2 kills, 3 kills, and this could be the game. Esperanza is the next to fall. Teams aren't even going to bother with the Immortal. They're going to go ahead and head to core.
Yep, there's one option left for J-Shifts, and he's doing it. No, his clone doesn't last long enough. He was going to try and send one in and try and teleport back in after healing up at the base, but now he's in for the 1v5 defense. The Leeming resets are just too good here from Anti-Clown Association. Samuro does absolutely body Valimar. J-Shifts is distracted. reacting. He's really tried his best, but it does not matter. Raider has been left on the core, and he will take this down himself. That's going to be game, ladies and gentlemen, and the series, as Anti-Clown Association are going to take game number 2 and the 2-0.
Nicely done by both teams. A little bit unfortunate at the end there for Press Forward. I really thought they had it in the bag, but just a series of bad fights led to eventually just not being able to sustain.
Yeah, that last fight, the resets from Li Ming, and Li Ming was 100% the carry in this game. Just finding the targets finally is what you need. Deathwing did a really good job, really struggled in lane, but when you're in those fights, Samuro can't be on him 100% of the time. There were other targets here, and as such, was bullied out a bit. ETC, we finally saw the light bomb stage dive come in. He was able to hit Chromie with it, and Chromie tried to time stop herself to keep herself alive, but was caught out on the reset of Li Ming as she came out of that. Perfectly timed, well engaged, and it was beautifully done.
I really think that stage dive was the second carry here in this game, just because having Deathwing able to jump onto the back and ETC stage dive providing the vision he needs to dive back, there wasn't really a whole lot that anyone could do from the side of Press Forward to really deal with it, aside for you just kind of run away, and whoever got jumped on was the sacrifice, whether that be Chromie or Stukov. They played it really, really well. We saw a lot of great job or damage from J-Shift, but unfortunately, in the end, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, J-Shift 100% kept that game alive for his team for most of it, but in the end, it turned out very, very effective, and a lot of that comes in due to the draft. The draft was effective. The stage dive was a really smart choice, honestly. Mosh would have been very, very hard to land effectively, whereas the stage dive, they hit it quite a few times. They had enough CC to make it work. And it looks like we do have an interview. I'm just going to join a room, and then I'll let them know. We're going to be jumping on board with Kelsey for the interview.
I honestly don't think that they would have gone Mosh, even if there were no Mosh interrupts on the side of Press Forward. It was just so impactful with that stage dive. They definitely knew what they wanted to run, and they did a good job.
That is fair. Fair point, well made. And I will let him know. Oh, there we go. Found him. Alrighty. Well, I was in the wrong lobby, but I found Kelsey, everybody, and congratulations on your win.
Nice. Thank you, bro.
I'm going to turn you up so everybody can hear you, but for starters, let's talk about the first game here, jumping into that. So, Vikings first pick, not the first time we've seen it, but you guys played it a little differently with what I am going to dub Battle Eric. So, what's the Loric behind that? The logic, sorry.
So, yeah, the recent changes with Vikings really made him, like, they're very, they do a lot of pressure to health pools if you just let them auto-attack you. And Eric was, like, doing so much damage to, like, the Sylvanas or just the backline there. It was kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, we saw Eric's like chasing Sylvanas down several times for kills.
Oh, you guys
there.
just bullied poor Speranza. Like that game, I think Sylv died 6 or 7 times. Is this something that you guys practice very often? Just bullying with the Vikings?
Yeah, Valmar's pretty aggro at the Vikings in general. It's overall it's something like we're good at. And to be fair for the Sylv, it's kind of hard to play like into Eric Tracer running her down all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys went for, was the pick of the Tracer and the Reyna together, the idea of basically, let's just remove all the counters for the Vikings, or was the situation of, let's just go as aggressive as possible for blow-ups, we're a 4-man because we can always be a 4-man?
Yeah, so it was more so, like, when we saw, like, their super squish, like, 2 squishy ranged and Ana, and then a Nubarak, Tracer basically gets like no one can pressure her in that comp, and overall she can pretty much do whatever she wants as long as like I'm playing properly.
It made a lot of sense. He was able to just dive in, get the quick kill, and then recall out. So I want to talk a little bit about the Anuba rack. We see it a lot in Heroic Division. Now, there have been talks that like other tanks such as Muradin and Mal'Ganis are kind of better. How do you feel about Anuba rack right now, seeing as you guys have a pretty stacked team? You guys are doing really well. I think you're 3rd after your dominant victory over Press Forward.
Maybe I think we're definitely in that range. How I feel about a new Barak, I feel like the character is very squishy, and like heroes like ETC kind of do his job better of getting CC in. Um, he's kind of very easy. Like if he doesn't dive perfectly, it's very high execution for him, and he can be punished very very hard if he misses at all.
Right, definitely. Thank you. That's what I've been saying. I get really tilted whenever I see a new rack and there's somebody like ETC was open in that game, Mal'Ganis was open in that game, and I'm like, okay, it's a noob.
Yeah.
So let's move on to game number 2. Very simple question to start off with, and that is Exterminator got got nerfed pretty recently, but you're still picking it up here. How do you feel it sits in relationship to Ace in the Hole at the moment? And of the other talent if you really want to go there.
Well, like something like 46 stacks and you're doing more damage than Ace in the Hole or
True.
something like that. Exterminator, I think it's a personal preference pick at this point, like Ace in the Hole Exterminator. I do think on Battlefield, Exterminator should usually be the pick just for the increased race pressure. But Ace in the Hole definitely has its choices. Exterminator, I don't believe, is like the must-pick talent anymore.
Makes sense.
Of course. So we were talking a little bit before we hopped in here with you. The stage type ETC, was it something you guys were planning on going from the start, or did you just kind of opt into it when you saw how many interrupts there were for Mosh Pit on the side of Press Forward?
Right, so there was a couple of factors for that. We knew that they had interrupts for Mosh, making it unreliable. And then also the fact that our backline, like, it was kind of a decision we made in game. Our backline was being very pressured. Like as soon as we step up to do damage, Maev Samuro kind of bullies us pretty hard. So we just tried to engage on their backline and killed them before they killed us, essentially.
Makes
sense.
Alrighty, so the Deathwing. The Deathwing is a hero that it's very much hot again, hot again, cold again for a lot of players these days. But running it into Samuro as the last pick seemed a little risky and did struggle quite a bit in lane. Was this a calculated risk? Was this underestimating the Samuro, or was this just a commitment to go for the late game?
So Deathwing was pretty good into their 4-man. Like I think Deathwing had the most hero damage that game. He can go in there pretty hard, especially against like Maevs or Johannas or like Blessed or Pulse doesn't really affect them at all. I will say to my boy Valimar, there was a lightning storm out of his house and he was kind of like freezing up every like couple. So that could be a factor as to why he was struggling. It definitely is a skill matchup though.
Right, definitely. So he's just got Galaxy Brain, and he was affected this evening, of course.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's all the questions I had. So we're gonna move. Unless you have any other questions about the games.
No, not about the games.
Alrighty, so let's jump into the fact that we're approaching the end of the season right now, and you guys are positioning very high. Is there anyone you haven't played against who you're very excited to play against, or are we in a situation where you're more excited for playoff rematches? And if so, who are you excited to play again? Maybe get some revenge on.
Let's see. I'm excited to play against the one team we haven't played yet that I am looking forward to is CPX Fan Club. They're one of our flex matches to schedule. I think that's going to be very and CPX Fan Club is very aggro in their comps, and we kind of do some weird stuff too. So I'm excited for that. And for playoffs, I'm just I would say I want the revenge on We Take These.
That's fair. Top of the board right now, We Take These, so you want to dethrone and try and take the playoffs in your favor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Makes sense. Alrighty. So, Kelsey, thank you very much for jumping in. By the way, am I pronouncing Kelsey right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Perfectly.
Okay, perfect.
Some people pronounce it like Kaiser or something, but nah, you got it.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right. So the floor is yours. Any shout outs you would like to give for now?
Yeah, thank you. Shout outs to my team for like keeping it cool at second game. It kind of got a little bit stressful there. Big shout outs to Valimar for playing with like thunderstorms and like everything happening to him. He played very well through high ping scenarios. Shout outs to Press Forward for the fun games, and shout outs to you guys for casting. I appreciate it a lot, and big shout outs to my boy CPX.
Alrighty, we're going to be excited for that matchup coming very soon, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Go enjoy your victory now. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right, yeah, thank you. All right, night, guys.
Have a good night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us for this NGS series, and it for me for my games while based in North America. I'm going to be flying back to the UK tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to continue casting NGS while I'm over there. The plan was I cast replays, but...
Everyone just say, Tetcher, we want you to cast live games. Stay up till 4 a.m., please.
Yep, that might end up having to be the play. But thank you everyone who's joined me while I've been doing this. It's been an absolute blast. Hopefully I'll be able to keep doing it by ruining my sleep schedule. But if you want some games that are almost certainly going to be on the North American time frame because she lives here, you can check out Jinxeekatt's channel, who has joined me once again. We've been back and forth between our two channels consistently while I've been here. It's been an absolute blast. And there might be more games of that coming up. And also, you can see when she streams for her games for Ghillie Sharks, who are in Division B West.
A West.
East. Is it
A
wait?
East.
Wow, we've did
No, I don't
every
know
single
where
part
I'm
of that
playing.
wrong.
I play games good, guys.
She does play games good. Division A East. That's where they play. You can check out the Ghillie Sharks on her channel, as well as more casts. And everybody, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, consider dropping a subscription or a donation using the links below the stream. You can also see down there are some humble affiliate links, which I have going on at the moment. I just saw there was an RPG book bundle, which if you're D&D nerds like us, there's some pretty good stuff in there. And if you use my affiliate link, you pay nothing extra, and I get free money. No chance of losing there.
Also, we play D&D on Saturday and Monday. If you guys didn't know, Saturday on my channel, Monday over on Tetcher's channel. We've got a really lot of fun people from the Heroes community, mine including Bahamut, Cat Peach, Moist Weenas, our friend Mike plays in it. And then over on Tetcher's channel, we've got people like Crowan, Faye, and Kendrick. So if you really enjoy supporting hot personnel outside of Heroes of the Storm, that's a great way to come and support us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys.
Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We're going to find someone to raid you over to. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and hopefully see you next time. See you all soon.
All right, who's streaming?